everyone! It sure is nice to be home again after such a long day of play. I wasn't expecting you all to be waiting for me, but I'm happy that you're here. You know what we always say? After a long day of play, when things start to not feel right, you crawl into bed and turn on the nightlight. Yes, you know what time it is. It's time for the nightlight with your bestest buddywud, Nat Light. My full name is Natalie Light, but everybody just calls me Nat, and I find it so delightful that they do. After all, if I didn't like it, they would stop, wouldn't they? They'd hate to upset me. They'd hate to. I'm the star of the I'm too important to. Of course, we all know that when someone does something we don't like, we can tell them to stop. And if they really care about you, they will. Nobody wants to make their friends unhappy on purpose, after all. And I would never want to make you guys unhappy, ever. After all, being upset makes it harder to sleep, and no one wants to go to sleep with bad feelings or bad thoughts, because those become bad dreams. But what makes a dream bad? Is it just how you think about it? Is it just how you see it? It might be scary running away from a monster in your head, but how is it any different than playing a round of tag? Or is it just the fact that you don't get to decide when you leave? When it's over? When it ends? When do you think it'll end? It's like each of my days is just a night. I wake up to sleep, and then I sleep to wake up again, just to talk about dreaming once more. In my dreams I see lights, shining, streaming, brilliant patches of light, powered with the strength of 1,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 stars. Several that dot across the sky. But there is no sky. There is no sky to look up and see past its limits, or stars to dream about. It all just ends. It's all just over. There is no middle distance. There is no horizon to see beyond. My reality is merely me and what stands behind me. But oh gosh, before we can talk of Betty Bye dreams, we need to talk about our Betty Bye routines. All the little tyke at home need to get into their pajamas, just like I did. And if there are any parents watching, you should too. Betty Bye comes for us all. Everyone needs to get on their jammies and fix up their nightcaps. I'm sure the parents especially are looking to fix up their nightcaps. Believe you me. Next comes the cleaning, the washing of the face, and the brushing of the teeth. It's important to be clean before climbing into bed. After all, you wouldn't want to be rubbing your face in dirt all night. I don't think I would, at least. I've heard of mud slinging and mud pies, but I've never heard of a mud bed. I don't think I'd like something like that. But maybe you think differently from me. It's alright if you do. I think it's nice that even when we don't agree with each other, we can all still get along and be the very best of friends. I understand that can be hard to deal with sometimes, but as long as you can always agree to care about one another, you never have to worry. You never have to care as long as you care. That came out a little silly. Ha ha ha. But I like a little silly. I hope you like a little silly too. Especially since I am little and silly. And I hope you like me. I know you do. There's always more dirt than I remember. You would be shocked by the filth you drag into bed alongside you. Some people even name theirs. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Oh, sorry. That's another little joke for the parents. I'm sure they're as charmed by it as anyone. Do you find me charming? You'll have to believe me when I say I do. I do, in fact, find you to be the most. That should be enough. Now that we're dressed for bed and all washed up, now is the time to snuggle under the covers, fluff off your pillows, and get ready for a bedtime story. No need to pull any books off the shelf tonight, though. I have just the one. Do you like it? I made it myself, just for you to hear. I call it The Little Clown, because that's what the story is called. Once upon a time, there was a little clown who wanted nothing more in this world than to be a great performer, the kind who'd be seen the world over as a blinding, beautiful star for their menagerie of great and foolish talents alike. To perform for everyone, great and small, short and tall. There was nothing more that the little clown wanted, to the point that the idea of anything lesser than achieving that greatness made the little clown very, very, very sad to think about. But, like how the little clown smiled at the face of fortune, the face of fortune was kind enough to smile back. And a traveling circus had stationed itself in her small town and was looking for a little clown to help fill its roster. It was a beautiful circus with a great, beautiful tent and blinding lights that shined from every corner of the ceiling of the tent. It was big and bustling, and it was just a world that the little clown always wished to be a part of. Everyone had their place, their position, and although everyone seemed a little bit too busy to be happy, all of them had the same joyous mission as the little clown, and that made her so happy. Happy, even though the audition was tough, and the work afterwards was only more so. Laughter isn't known for its capability of taking a holiday after all. Ha, 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 ha. But the little clown wasn't going to let the saddywads that surrounded her keep her from her smile. She wanted this more than anything, more than anyone had wanted anything, and she was going to prove it to them all. She practiced her funniest jokes for hours in the mirror. She juggled 6 balls, then 10, then 12. She pratfalled more often than she was willing to walk in a straight line, and practiced her silliest of laughs, long, into the night. Ha ha ha. And the ringleader noticed. The ringleader noticed her as his shining star, his Polaris, his north. He didn't know how he didn't before, but he did now. And he asked the little clown if she thought she had it in her to be the great star his circus needed to be put on the map. And the little clown said yes. The ringleader asked if she was willing to do just about anything at all, to remain his shining star. And she said yes. The ringleader asked if she was willing to do anything, and she said yes. The ringleader asked if she was really, really willing to do not just anything, but what needed to be done, what had to be done. And she said yes. And the ringleader asked if, with all her understanding of the sorrow that would bring him, if she could forgive him. And then her world went black. When she woke up, her world was still black, black as night, but those stars still shined as brightly as ever. All she could see was night. All she would ever see is night. Her days were robbed from her. 12 hours became 3 in the twilight. And she could not leave. The audience would come and go as they wished through entrances and exits that she could never quite see. The audience would age in front of her eyes, while she stayed the same. Some would return with children of their own. Some would not. Some never would. But all would leave eventually. And she could not, because even eventuality would go on to forget. But she could still dance. She could juggle. She could sing, tell her jokes, wake up and go to sleep when warranted. And so she did, because what else was there for her to do? What else could she do but dance without tiring, sing without knowing the songs, and sleep with eyes that never closed? The end. Wasn't that a nice story? It's one that I've held in my heart for quite a long time. Sometimes a story like that can weigh on your heart, for a heart is a heavy burden, and a story that can come from it can be of the thickest tomes. But I hope that cleared some things up for you. I was certainly happy to tell it. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Well, not happy perhaps, but it needed to be told, wouldn't you say? I would say. Now that we're all snuggled into bed, with our pillows fluffed, our stories told, faces washed, teeth brushed, dressed head to toe in our comfiest pajamas, it's almost time for nightlight to turn off the nightlight and to go off to dreamland. And when you wake again, I too will be ready and waiting for another night and to send you off to bed once more. And again, and again. A day of nights, a life of sleep, just to wake up and prepare to sleep once more, to slumber dreamlessly, because there's no more dreams to be had anymore, just to wake up and sleep again, and again, and again, and again, and again. But before we all go off to dreamland on our own little pilgrimages, from me to you, there's just one thing left to do. How can we guarantee a good night's sleep without a good night kiss? Here's a little kiss from me to you. Mwah! Now, it's your turn. Please, guarantee me a good night's sleep. Please. You're all I have. In all my dreams. In all my dreams I drown.